Hi, I'm Rob of Rob Barclay Music. Thanks for checking out my video. I've been playing saxophone for almost 30 years now. I've been on YouTube for just over 5 years. Um, and since all my gigs have been canceled for the summer, as a lot of musicians are going through the same thing, looking for things to do. I've been practicing and playing and on YouTube I've had the question asked a few times, what brand is my saxophone, or what type of mouthpiece do I use? What reed do I play on? I figure this would be a great time to go over this. And also you get a chance to get to know me a little more than just see me playing the saxophone. When you're done watching this video, please check out my YouTube channel. I have over 130 videos there. I upload about twice a week. You can see me performing on the street busking, playing with my bands, a couple original albums you can check out. And lots of recordings of me doing very unique cover songs. I like to do a different rendition on them, so it's not like everyone else's. So please check that out. If you enjoy it, please subscribe. It really helps me out, and thank you for that. So let's get started on the video. Okay, so let's get started with my saxophone. It's a Paul Mauriat Leblanc 200. I absolutely love it. I love it. First thing I got to say though, if you can't afford a really expensive saxophone or really high-end saxophone, I'm going to be completely honest with you. The sound of the saxophone is probably, let's just say 90% the player. Their unique sound, the way they shape their mouth when they play, their throat, their tongue. That's what gives you your unique saxophone sound. It's not the saxophone. So 90% the player. Let's say 7% is the mouthpiece, and the other 3% is the reed. But I just wanted you to keep that in mind. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll go into a little more detail about that. So this is the P. Mauriat Leblanc 200. It's a great weight. It feels good when you play it. It feels real good. It's made of a red brass, which gives a very warm and resonant sound. It's a very full sound, of course. And yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It comes with a Super 6 neck, which is, I believe, silver and nickel, I believe it's made of, different from the rest. And it gives you that, I guess if you want to call it like a jazzy, punchy, funk, whatever you rock, it gives you a good punchy sound and a bright tone. It gives a bright tone as well, I'd say. And as like I said, it's just ergonomically, it's fantastic. It's a really good brand. I would recommend this to anyone. It's not the most expensive saxophone by any stretch, but it's a good saxophone. It's a good saxophone. So this is the P. Mauriat Leblanc 200. Fantastic. And if you'd like to hear what it sounds like I said, check out my YouTube channel. Plenty of videos on there. And actually I play 2 different saxophones over the years that you can hear the difference. I guess the next thing I should talk about would be mouthpieces. Now I've collected a few over the years. Let's see what I have here. So this is just basically looks like it's a Vito mouthpiece. Probably made out of hard rubber or some sort of plastic carbonate. I don't use it, but I have it. The other one I have is a Paul Mauriat mouthpiece as well that came with the saxophone. It's okay, but it's not for me. It's okay. It's more, I would think, it's more of a student model mouthpiece, I would think. Maybe a little better. It's quality anyways, but I just don't love it. So what I do play on is the Dukoff D7. I absolutely love this mouthpiece. I've had 3 over the years, and they're not cheap. I think they're $300 maybe, 200, 350, 250 to 350 depending where you buy it, of course. You can always find sales somewhere. Anyways, when I was in high school stage band, we were fortunate. I was at a high school. Now we're talking, I'm gonna be 43 in a couple months, so we're talking a ways back now. But I was very fortunate. The school I went to, I had an amazing music teacher. Absolutely loved the man. And we were fortunate, I guess probably in the 40s or 50s, our school was probably quite competitive in the music scene. And so we were fortunate to have some really nice instruments. So when I was in high school, most will have like Yamahas or a decent student saxophones. By the time I hit grade 11, I guess I was playing on a Selmer Super Action 80 and a Selmer Mark 6 we had access to. It was incredible. So I got to try out a good instrument and to know what one feels like. And after high school, I ended up picking up a saxophone, which I no longer have at this point. It was a beautiful saxophone. It was called a Dave Gardella New York. It was black and nickel. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But anyways, that's okay. Life happens sometimes. So getting back into it, yes, when I was in the stage band, we had the first metal mouthpiece I played on was a Selmer. It was gold. It was okay. It was okay. Like, I liked it. I didn't know much about it, right? I was just getting into it. I liked the difference of the sound with the metal mouthpiece. Very punchy. So anyway, I when I was picking up that instrument, I came across a Dukoff D7, and it was just so easy to play. It was so easy to play, and very comfortable as well. And what a sound it gives. I believe David Sanborn plays on the Dukoff D7 as well. And back then I was listening to him a lot because he's really good. But anyway, so what I would say about this is it gives amazing volume and projection. If you're playing solo and you need to stand out, this will help. This will help. Of course, it always comes down to the player. Don't get me wrong. No, it doesn't matter what you play. It's not going to, make you 1,000 times better. You are you, and you have your skill sets, and that's the way it is. You work on it, you get better. But this helps you definitely stand out when you need to stand out. It has a very bright sound, an edgy sound, a punchy sound, which is kind of what I like. But there's times when you don't want that, of course, right? You're playing classical music, you still can on this. It has great control. And speaking of great control, I found when I started playing on this, to hit the altissimo registers was very comfortable. A lot easier to get up there, a lot easier to control. Yeah, this is a fantastic mouthpiece. I would recommend this to anyone. Like I said, I've owned 3 in my life. Not because they were bad, it's because I dropped it. They got damaged. It's just the way. I wasn't as careful as I should have been. So that's the Dukoff D7. 95% of the time I'm playing on my Dukoff. But this is a fantastic mouthpiece here. Not overly expensive. It's the Brilhart Ebonite. It's a 4. I guess, like I said, I don't play on it very often. I'm into a different sound generally. But if I wanted a full classical saxophone sound, this is definitely well made. Not that expensive. It's made by Arnold Brilhart, but I believe at some point Selmer ended up buying the company, so I think it's actually owned by Selmer now. This is a vintage model, so it's great. It's lasted a long time, and I use just a Selmer ligature with it. It gives you that classical saxophone sound and warmness, almost a woody sound instead of more of a metallic sound to it, if that makes sense to you. It has very precise pitch control, which of course is you're doing that, but I don't know how to describe it other than it hits the notes as it should, I guess you could say. And yeah, it's very comfortable. It's very comfortable. I'd recommend it if you're not comfortable playing on a metal mouthpiece, or if you're not in jazz, or I'm not necessarily into jazz. The jazz is a small aspect of what I do, but if you're a student and you're looking for a good mouthpiece, or even if you're a pro and you're looking for a good mouth, I'm sure you've heard of this one anyways. So it's the Brilhart Ebonite. I believe it's owned by Selmer now. So I don't know if you look under Selmer or Brilhart, not sure. But they're readily available. You can find them online, since you can't go to too many music stores these days. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. Fantastic. So the next thing I should cover is, of course, reeds. Now, reeds are a very specific thing for people. Everyone's going to have a different opinion, much like saxophones and mouthpiece, I suppose. It's all opinion and what feels comfortable to you. Everyone's different. So this might be surprising to people, but the reed I use is just the straight Ricos, Rico 2.5. This is what I guess you'd probably find in most schools. This is tends to be the one they go with. It's well made. It's well made. It's good for students, intermediates, and professionals. You'll see why in a moment. So they're super affordable. That's one thing I like about them, is they're very affordable. I've been using them for almost 30 years now. So I guess I'm loyal to them. And what I would say about them, say you get a box of 10, maybe 4 out of 10 will be really good. They'll be good. They'll be just fine. And all you have to do is you take this, you hold it up to the light. If you see like a peak, let's give you a finger there. If you see like a peak that comes up like this, like almost like a triangle or a pyramid, when you look, you'll see it's much darker. That's going to be a good read. It's going to be a very good read. So you want to put those aside. So what I'll do is I'll get 4 good reads out of it, on average. And the other 6 reads I'll use for practice. They're still good. They're not perfect. They're not, when you get that read and it just plays perfect, you know what I'm talking about. And about 6 of them won't be that. If you're into filing down your old reads and that, and you can make it the way you want, if you have that skill set, go for it. If you want to clip it, do your thing. But for me, and for the price, I just go with these. It suits me just fine. So just straight Rico 2.5s I use, 2.5s. A 2 is too soft for me. A 3, I don't want to have to bite that hard when I'm playing, so it's not necessary. This is a comfortable thickness for me when I'm playing. So Rico 2.5s, excellent. So the next one I'll talk about now, I have bought them. Like I said, I'm pretty much strictly just the straight Ricos, but I have the Rico Royales, which is, they're more expensive. They're quite a bit more expensive actually. And I would say, for me, it's not worth it. The cost of it's not worth it because I can use the other ones that aren't as great for practice. And then they eventually break in and become actually pretty decent. But what I'll say about these, now the Rico Royales, they are filed, which kind of gives, how would you say, extra flexibility in response. Do you know what it just plays a little better. But again, when you're getting quality, it costs money. So that's the trade-off you're going to do. If you want to grab a box and be able to take any read and get ready and go and play, and go for it. That's great. I would say, truthfully, about 8 out of 10 are fantastic. They're bang on. The only thing, too, I found for myself and from talking to other saxophonists is you almost have to go down. So I would normally play a 2.5 thickness, but when I'm playing on a Rico Royale, I would go down to a 2. It seems like they're a little firmer, or there's something about them. So if you're going to go that route, maybe try one that's just a 0.5 millimeter difference and play with it that way, because otherwise you might get really frustrated and just forget to these reeds. But it's not the reeds, it's just they're different. So it's something to consider. Also, some people have asked me now, what do I think about synthetic reeds? And I think the idea of a synthetic reed is fantastic. One of the most annoying things is having to constantly, well, it's not annoying, but it can be frustrating as breaking in reeds. So right now I must have, in my gig case here, I must have 12 reeds that are good to go, you know, numbered. I have my gig reed, and then I have number 1, number 2, number 3. It's all organized, so I'm good to go as far as that goes. But as far as synthetic reeds, you don't have to worry about them breaking, really. I imagine they do wear out over time. You're not just going to buy one reed for your lifetime. But there's a lot of benefits to that. Now, last time I tried a synthetic reed, it was probably about 20 years ago. I don't think that their quality was as good as they are now, so I can't really speak on it. I haven't tried a new synthetic reed, so I can't really say too much about it. My experience, I didn't like it, but I didn't give it that much of an opportunity either. Oh, I guess I should have mentioned this. A Rovner ligature, nothing special, but that's what I like to use on my metal mouthpiece. It makes a difference, it really does. Your reed does not move around on you. The vibrations, or it absorbs a lot of the vibrations, so you don't feel that in your mouth as well. So I would recommend these, and they look cool too. So the next thing I was going to talk about is the, what do I have? I think I have one down here. They're just these mouthpiece cushions. They're pretty cheap actually, and I never tried one till about 3 years ago. I've seen them around. I thought, oh, well, that's kind of unnecessary. But I've been running into this problem. Now, if you look on here, I don't know if it shows up, but you can see teeth marks. And on this one, which was, you can also see the teeth marks on there. I'm hoping you can anyways. And that's the beauty of these. I took my cushion off of this one so you could see that. Now, it hasn't progressed at all since I've been using them. So really, what they're great for is they protect the wear from your teeth. And I think I have a tooth that's just slightly, maybe this much longer than the other one, so that causes a problem. It doesn't sit flush or flat. It digs in a little bit. So the cushions take care of that, no problem. It also controls a lot of the mouth vibration I was talking about earlier. That's also, if you find that it's, as you play longer and longer, it's not going to matter to you anyways, but maybe when you're first starting out, or maybe if you have sensitive teeth even, you'll find vibrations, and you can feel it in your teeth, and that completely actually takes care of that 100%. And they're pretty long lasting, I gotta say. I play every day, at least, an hour to 2 hours every day. And I've been using the same one now for, I would say, maybe 3 months since I've had to change it. And of course you have to wash it after. It gets gross if you don't. So they're not very, I think it's like maybe $10-15 for, I think it comes in a packs of 6, something like that. Anyways, I would recommend it. I think they're actually pretty awesome. Most of the stuff I've actually bought is at Long and McQuade. You can check online for that. But yeah, the great prices. Pretty much anything you need they have. I'd recommend that. That's where I get most of my my equipment from. So now I'm going to quickly talk about another saxophone that I picked up. And as I said, I had a really beautiful saxophone years and years and years ago. Oh, I'd say maybe 10 years ago. I just wanted to pick up another sax and get playing more and more. And I ended up going online, and I think I picked up the saxophone for $300. It came, it was all good to go. I didn't have to get it adjusted or re-padded or recorked, or it was just good to go, and I paid $300 for it. And it was the Vito Leblanc. I believe it was a 1974 7131 RK, I believe is what it's called. Yes, 7131 RK, made in Japan. Vito Leblanc was known for quality student saxophones, very well made. And this one was made in Japan, and eventually I also believe they were bought out by Yamaha. So Yamaha's base good level saxophone, I guess, would be about the equivalent. Maybe it's called a YSR, something like that. But anyways, what I would tell you about it, again, it was very affordable, very affordable. It has great response, really good sound, and I was just absolutely shocked about the quality of it for the price I paid. It was a really, really, really well-made saxophone. So if you are someone who's looking to pick up a saxophone, you can find them all over the internet, easily found, very well made. They last. And like I said, you could probably find it anywhere between $200 and $600, I would think, like on eBay or maybe on Amazon. I'm not sure. I haven't looked in a while, but that's what I paid for it, and I'm really, really happy with it. I'm happy I got it. I'd love to show it to you right now, but I played it a lot, and I did not get it taken care of. I did not take care of it to the way I should have. A few years ago, when I went to take it in to have some repairs done to it, the cost of repairing it was about half the cost of buying a new saxophone. So I went with the new saxophone, of course, and that's actually when I got my P Mauriat Le Bravo 200. So yeah, I would say absolutely, if you can get one, if you're someone looking for a saxophone, they're easy to find, they're cheap, not cheaply made, but their cost is not a lot, and you'll be very happy with it. Really good sound. Like I said, you can check out my YouTube channel. I believe if you listen to my classic cover-up album, that's the last album I recorded with that saxophone before going to my new one. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily the saxophone that gives you the sound you're looking for. It's the player. And playing on a student model saxophone to my professional saxophone now, there's a slight difference in sound. One would say the Vito is a little brighter, and sometimes you want that. The other one's a little richer. I would recommend either one, obviously. If you can afford the other one, go with the Mauriat. But if you're looking for a starter sax, that's one I would recommend. So this is not a typical type of video I would do. I'm more about playing my instrument. I thought it'd be a good opportunity for you to get to know me a little bit. If this goes well, then I might do a a quick review or let you showcase some of the equipment I use for recording my instruments, which you can see in the pictures beside you. If that's something that would interest you, leave me a comment about that, and absolutely consider doing that. I think that'd be pretty interesting. One more thing I wanted to show you. A couple of years ago I was out street busking in Brockville, Ontario, and I played for about an hour and a half, and there was a gentleman there that was sitting on the bench watching and looked like he was drawing. And you know, he was very supportive, very nice. And when I was packing up playing, he came up to me and he said, you know, I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much. I don't have any money to give you. And I said, well, that's quite fine. That's quite fine. I'm glad you enjoyed. But he said, I did make this for you. And his name's Donald. And this is what he made. And I think it's awesome. So Donald, if you see this, just want to know I still have this, and thank you very much for this. It means a lot. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Share it with someone who might be interested. And like I said, I have over 130 videos there of every genre of music you can imagine. I have a lot of recordings from my bands, Me, Myself, and I, and my current band, Soul Charge. Lots of cover songs, lots of originals. Just check me out performing on the streets, live shows. Yeah, check it out. I think you'll like it. And I want to thank you very much for checking out this video, and I hope it was helpful to you. Thank you.